Today marks 1133rd day sharing lessons I learned and continue to learn with all of you. I hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help you to achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about really the complexity of personal growth. I think that a lot of times we think that it's very, very simple. Now, it's simple in one way, but it's very complex in another way. And I think that if we think that it's very, very simple when there's other areas is very complex, we're not able to take advantage of it. So today we'll share the complexities of personal growth. Why sometimes it is hard to implement personal growth in your life, because there are some areas that we need to understand before we're actually able to take advantage of personal growth. Number one, that personal growth is subjective and there's very individual differences. There's a lot of individual differences. There's a lot of times I don't believe that there's one thing and one thing only will make you successful. No. One person needs one thing, other person needs other thing. So when we understand that, there's not able to really give you an answer without really asking the right questions. Understanding who you are, how you execute, how you operate, and when you understand yourself, when you reflect on yourself, when you're aware of yourself, at that moment you're able to understand, okay, what is your best way? What is the best way for you specifically? Because everyone is different. Everyone is unique. And when you understand those unique parts of you, it's much easier to find, okay, strategies that works with you. Because one person is visual, one is audio. So one needs to see in front of him to learn. Other person needs to hear to learn. So that means just a small example, but there is a lot of things in personal growth that one person wants one way, other person is other way. Second thing that I want to mention is that interconnectedness in areas between personal health. It means that physical health influences all other areas of life. Your finances, your health, your mental, your emotional health. All those things will influence every other area of your personal growth. If you neglect one area, that could really start to affect other areas. That means when you focus on one area of your life, this is important. But if you neglect all other areas, that means that at some point you will not be able to improve beyond that, because one that is neglected might be then hindering all success of your life. So that means understanding how all aspects of your personal growth, are you addressing other areas that is essential for your success? Because if you're pursuing all your success in finances, but you neglect your health, you neglect your relationships, you will not be fulfilled. So there is interconnected areas of your life. Number three, challenges of change and adaptation. Now, there's a lot of times we just don't want to change. We want to really grow, improve, but we say that we are growing. But in general, we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. We do some things that is very comfortable. So the growth that was in the past, now it's hindering our success because we're doing something that is comfortable. So if we actually want to have that person growth, that means at some point we need to start saying, like, the things that used to challenge me in the past, it doesn't challenges me anymore. And because of that, I need to just look into what do I need to do today to be able to challenge myself, to improve myself, to change things, because the only thing that is constant is change. Change is constant. So we're not able to constantly do exactly the same thing and expect different results. Number four is emotional and psychological complexity. Because every single person has different emotional regulation. How they react to things, what triggers them, what kind of emotional patterns they have. We're able to work on it, but every single person has different upbringings, different nature and nurture. And because of that, we have different emotional and psychological complexity, mental capacity. And because of that, the things that really triggers you, other person have no trigger whatsoever. So being able to understand, okay, how different things is impacting you specifically. And how that really looks like in a bigger picture. Because when you understand our patterns, when you understand our triggers, when you understand our weaknesses, our strengths, our blind spots, it's much, much easier to really work on your personal growth. Because Again, this is one person has strengths, other person weaknesses. And when you really look into that, a lot of times some plans are based on someone else's strengths. When we trying to implement someone else's plan, we focus on our weaknesses because those areas might be that our weak points. And a lot of the plans are based on someone else that is on 5 levels. Right? If you measure some skill set, some mindset from 1 to 10, the plan is created from 5 to 10. But if you are 2, that means that you're not able to execute that plan. So it's very, very important that the emotional and psychological complexity is in understanding. Number 5 is overcoming external barriers. That means even external barriers will be different to each of us. That means that what kind of things is going on in your life? Because maybe with someone who created personal growth plan that you would love to follow, have total different kind of external things going on in their life. So what kind of things is going on in your life? When you understand that, okay, how I should adapt, that's why I truly believe in mentorship, but because we're able to look at, this is what I'm going through in my life. How I adjust your plan into my life? Because most things that personal growth plan, you're not able to implement 100%, but you're able to implement 80%. And that's a great foundation. But now we need to understand what do we do about that 20%? And that's where that 20% and that external barriers that are different to different people are those 20% that we need to adjust to make sure to get the best result. Number 6 is ambiguity of success. That means sometimes people have different understanding of success. Sometimes people do not have clarity of success. It's not that easy to understand your success because definition of success changes when you change. Maybe not like it doesn't change like masterfully, like tremendously, but small shifts are making that every small change makes a small shift in your success. So ambiguity of success, it doesn't allow us to grow as fast as we could because the more clarity you have on your success, the more you're able to grow yourself, the faster you're able to grow. The less clarity you have, the harder it is to create a plan of personal growth plan that you really pursue that success. Number 7 is the resilience and persistence. So it means you have a best plan, the best growth plan ever. You can just execute, but it might be that it will be slowed down because you don't have that resilience and persistence. Personal growth plan could be a very, very easy to understand, and maybe you know exactly what you need to do. But for some reason, you're just not able to persevere yet. You're not able to have that resilience necessary to really pursue that personal growth to achieve that vision. And the first step could be to build resilience, to build that persistence, so you can really pursue that plan that really leads us to the vision that we want. Number 8 is self-reflection and critical thinking. The personal growth is always about self-reflection. Because you create the plan, you execute, and at some point we need to reflect and say, okay, I execute, I learn what worked, what didn't work. Okay, what do I need to shift? What do I need to adjust now so I could really create a different plan? So you need to have the critical thinking, understanding what was working, what was not working. If something in my vision changed, and what should I need to do now? What kind of shift in my personal growth plan that I could really execute even better and really move forward? So self-reflection is the key. You're not able to create a plan for a lifetime. You're able to create a plan for a season, but not a lifetime. And after a season, we need to reflect and, of course, have the critical thinking to really create a new plan for a new season. Number 9 is balancing internal expectations with internal desires. Now, a lot of times we have external expectations from our family, from friends, acquaintances, strangers, so many people. But what are internal desires is saying you? What do you want exactly? It's nice to be validated by other people, but I think that the most important validation that we're supposed to seek is internal validation. Because if I love myself, other people will love, if we love ourselves, other people will love us as well. But if we hate ourselves, we're not able to nurture ourselves. And of course, at that moment, we become less lovable. Because it's very hard to love a person who doesn't love themselves. And that's why it's very neat to understand that balancing external expectations with internal desires is very, very important, because when you really actually have those internal desires and then you live by those internal desires, you're able to really achieve other expectations much, much more easily as well. A last thing that I want to mention, and probably one of the most important part, is that is temporal nature. That means we need to have time and patience. That means that if you want to really grow ourselves, improve ourselves, there will be a lot of time and patience in that achievement. That means a lot of times we think that there will be a temporary journey to achieve that personal goal. There is small things. There is some small things that they'll be able to really achieve in a month, in 2 months. Some of that personal growth. But when we actually really pursue the vision, we need to have understanding there is an infinite time, infinite patience to achieve that, the best version of ourselves. Being content with where we are, but seeking that best version of ourselves. So I hope you to reflect as well, like, where are you at with personal growth? What kind of areas of your life you love to improve? What are the challenges of personal growth? Where do you need to improve the most? Because there's there's simple things about personal growth, and there's, as I shared today, there's some things that is complex, and we need to understand those complex things that we could really take advantage of personal growth. So I hope you choose something, and see you tomorrow.